Hard throb never. I mean hard throb forever.
All right, real quick, I want to talk about American citizens having a delayed issue or a delay of obtaining identification, whether it be state IDs or driver's licenses or whatever. While at the same time, the immigrants that are coming here, some kind of way they're able to get IDs for, for work and to handle personal business. They get some kind of a way, an expedited way to get the identification that they need. And I'm bringing this up because for a lot of states, but specifically Texas, when you go to try to renew your driver's license or your state ID or whatever, you can't just go, or at least this is what they say, you can't just go to the office and walk in and get it done. You have to go online and, set up an appointment. Now, if your license isn't expired, and you happen to, make the appointment, you might be all right. But if your license expires, it just makes the process longer altogether. But not just your license, but your state ID or whatever identification card you need. But the problem is when you go online and have to set up this appointment, all of these appointments are scheduled 3 to 5 months out. So to me, that's problematic because it's like 3 to 5 months out. Now, mind you, let's say for me, I've scheduled an appointment for identification renewal or replacement or whatever you want to call it. I did this 2 months ago, but the scheduled appointment isn't until the middle of November. It's September right now. Now I want y'all to think about this, that the American citizen is having to wait that long to get their identification renewed. We have the election coming up early November, but my personal appointment date isn't until a week and a half after the election. And you need an ID to be able to go vote. So I'm just, but then at the same time, immigrants who are here with no identification, here illegally, and I'm not saying that they're doing this in Texas, I don't know, they might be, but they're getting driver's licenses without having to take a test. They're getting, other forms of identification, to handle their personal business and banking and things. But the American citizen, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, African, whatever it is, you have to wait months on end for something that is detrimentally needed for you to handle your day-to-day business. And they will tell you that you have to make an appointment and wait. Well, I have people who work in specific industries and the HRs hired immigrants and they've actually went and paid for them to actually get some kind of ID card. Now, I'm not understanding this. I'm sure for those of you who are listening to this, you can attest that this is actually the case. Like, how is this going down? Months on end to get something that they already know you're a citizen. They already know this. The only thing that should be a delay really is if you're trying to get a driver's license. That may have been, canceled or something like that. But a state ID, you're entitled to a state ID. So the least that you should be able to get expeditedly, is it expeditedly? Expeditiously? Whatever. You should at least be able to get a state ID very quickly. But the fact that you have to go online, fill out all this paperwork online, schedule an appointment, and then the appointment is 3 to 5 months out, it just seems, and I could be wrong, man, I could be wrong, but it just seems like all of these things, all of these delays and inconveniences aimed at the American citizen, it just seems so undeniably deliberate. Like, I'm not buying that these things aren't being done deliberate when we're looking at other groups of people come here, whether they're from South America, Haiti, wherever they're coming from, India, Africa, wherever. The immigrant period is coming here and getting expedited service and protected status, while the American citizen is being told, you've got to wait until we give you what it is that you need. Wait a minute, we pay taxes here. We're citizens. Even if we didn't pay taxes, we're citizens here. Now I'm wondering if this is, yeah, I won't necessarily say that, but it makes me wonder if this is a ploy to diminish votes for the election. I'm just saying, man. Because on one hand, you got constituents who are flooding people here so that they can get their vote. And then on the other hand, you have people who are here that are registered voters but need to have their ID renewed for those who need to have it renewed. And they're having all kinds of problems. Like for an American citizen to have to wait 3 to 5 months to get a state issued identification card, whether it's driver's license or state ID, this is insane. And it's insane because on one hand, you're telling them they have to wait, but on the other hand, you have no problem getting illegal immigrants the identification and things that they need to make their, transition here in America easy. Not that it should be made difficult, but when you're pushing an American citizens obtaining an ID out 3 to 5 months, that's very inconvenient because America runs on money and it runs on identification. So you can't do any banking. That means you're gonna have to find other sources to, have funds available. You can't, like, it's all types of stuff. Like if people need to, get other housing, or they, maybe a lease is up and they have to go, apply for, fill an application out for a new lease for an apartment or house or something. You have to have a current standing valid ID. 3 to 5 months scheduling, that is completely unacceptable. And it seems deliberate. It seems like a deliberate thing to slow down and drop the social status position of the American citizen. Like for those of you who listen to these types of posts and little talks, like you can't continue to ignore what's going on with this situation. Like I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. And we've heard of states all across the nation that were giving illegal immigrants driver's licenses without having to go through the same process and barriers that American citizens have to go through. We know what we have to go through to get it. We didn't complain about it. We just did it. But then you'll let some other people come here and tell them that they don't have to do it? Just the same way y'all did us with these jobs and stuff, with nursing and all of that. That H-1B visa, y'all let people over here who did not have necessarily the same, academic obstacles placed in front of them as the American citizen, and y'all let them come over here and get into the industry very quickly. While at the same time, you held us back from having to do all of these hoop jumps to qualify to be certified for these positions. It's a whole nother thing, but I just wanted to touch on that. I think this is completely unacceptable, and I think it's deliberate that an American citizen has to wait 3 to 5 months to obtain an ID. That's it. I'm out.
Heart throb never. Heart throb forever.